Welcome to another episode of Nutanix Weekly, one of the many XenTegra podcasts. We like to call it content with context. We're trying to bring the real world to all of the different things we talk about here in technology, specifically around Nutanix as a company, and today, kind of a change of pace, talking about Nutanix as a community. And I'm really excited to have Andrea Ribeiro from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Andrea is a Nutanix Technology Champion. She's also a Nutanix User Group leader. She's a blogger, and she's a technologist based out of Brazil. And I wanted to say, welcome, Andrea.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you for having me today. I hope we have a nice conversation and hope you help the community to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that you and I both share. So I'm a first-time Nutanix Technology Champion. You and I got to meet earlier this year at .next in Brazil. There were some things we got to do as access to different folks. We got to meet with the CTO and COO of Nutanix during the event, had lunch with them, had a Q&A period with them. But we're part of the same program, but for different reasons. And so I really kind of wanted to talk about that community that exists around Nutanix as a company, as a technology platform. But let's start with getting to know you a little bit. Share some of your background. How did you get started in IT, and what sort of things do you like to focus in on?
Yeah, I started work with IT for at least six years. I
Yeah.
will start to working with cloud, basically. Then my company buys some about 30 nodes of Nutanix, so I need to learn and learn fast.
Mhm.
And I start with the basic certification, then I go to advanced education.
Mhm.
So they notice me because I start to, share my knowledge and help the others with getting certified. And now here I am. I am in the second year as an NTC. So I'm also a chapter leader here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So I gathering some other users of the technology and I kind of help them with similar problems. Sometimes I give them I like to say shortcuts and we meet for twice a year. So my second meeting is about to happen in November, I think.
Fantastic.
So it's basically my job to share knowledge, to share my expertise. Sometimes I help them with like technical issues,
Mhm.
and basically share knowledge and I write about it. So I
Yeah.
also have a blog, so I can share my tips to others people to go there and eh, get the help that they need, basically.
Yeah. So, you were given this task to kind of learn Nutanix, but you didn't just learn it and keep that knowledge. What was it that made you want to actually share that with other people?
I think came easily for me because when I was a teenager, I like to, to be part of community of games. Basically, when
Yeah,
I when I give they give me this job to be part of the community, I was kind of, oh my God, I remember my other job. I
right.
was a community leader when I was a teenager, and now I am as a all grown up. I was a community leader as well. So I kind of, I like to call really call to this job. I think is kind of I don't know. I just enjoy myself very much. I think if you know something, if you can share, I think is a good way to go to learn more
Yeah.
and I think it's a good thing for me. So.
And I think that's a common trait. I think there's somewhere around 60, 70, maybe 80 NTCs in the world this year. And the commonality between all of us is that we do something to share what we know. We share what we're learning, and help the community grow. So I know for me, when I was getting started many years ago in the VMware community, there were folks like you who had blogs, and this was before podcasts and things, but they had blogs and things that I could go and read, and I could solve problems, and that was a huge help for me as I was learning the platform. So I love that you call it a job. I think it's more of a calling than a
Yeah,
job. That you feel called to kind of give back to this community and help it grow. Because you know it's not something that's necessarily paid like a job, but it
yeah.
does pay you in other ways. Let's talk a little bit about some of the folks you've met through doing this, and some of the opportunities you've had because you blog and give back to the community.
Yeah, I was in Chicago last year. I think you are there too, I think.
I
So,
didn't make it to Chicago to .next last year. I don't know why I didn't make it. That's like a point of contention, but I think you met with my colleague Harvey while you were there.
yeah,
Yeah,
I remember him. Then this year we met in Barcelona with basically the all the folks from Chicago.
yeah.
I think the good thing we can meet folks from another countries like French. I meet a lot. I spoke a lot of people from French, from no, I think one guy from Finland.
Mhm,
So I think this opportunity to know people from another countries, I think is a very valuable to me because I love know other cultures,
mhm.
and and you can learn from them as well. Like sometimes you can, help them with issue they haven't, and we can, I think this is the point basically. We can help each other.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool benefits too, right? The travel that you've been able to do. I know for me, as I've participated in user groups and because of blogging in the past, I've been able to travel to other industry events, get to meet folks. We got access to the COO and CTO of Nutanix, which is not something everyone can say. That was a pretty exciting opportunity, and so I would say the things that we get back as payment for the jobs that we're doing here in the community, it's access, it's opportunities to network with other folks. We also get the opportunity to collaborate, like today. I think that's a big part of it too. Is generally we help other folks in the community either creating content or collaborating on things together. Um, and that's what helps build the community. But I agree with you. Face to face is fun. Getting to know other people and seeing their perspective. It's all learning at the end of the day. Um, let's talk a little bit about your blog. You write about a lot of different topics around Nutanix, but what's probably your favorite thing to write about?
I think I like to know to write about it something who make the things easier. So I like to share like commands like administrator level commands like how to resolve issue before you call support.
Hmm.
So if one service is down, how you can fix that quickly, then if you call support, you need to wait like 15 minutes. So
Hmm.
you can do yourself in 2 seconds. So I
Yeah.
like I like to write about automation as well. Share some script about
Hmm.
Terraform. What else? I think I really love Nutanix and CLI. So basically, I pretty much enjoy to share my commands that I use. to create stuff, to delete stuff,
Yeah.
and sometimes you can destroy stuff. So
Be
yeah,
careful with this command, right?
yes.
So we should definitely do a call out to your blog. Your blog is called thelittleriver.co. Um,
Yeah.
so you can go out and see all of the different things Andrea has written about. I noticed you had a lot of love for NCLI and also for automation in general. I'm the same way, right? Why do the same thing over and over when you can create a quick script that'll do it for you, save you time, and let you focus on other more valuable things. So I love that about your blog. Um, if you had kind of a genie to give you any wishes, what would it be kind of for the community? What would you want to see for the Nutanix tech community?
I think if they give a community edition less light, because
Yeah,
today we need like at least 60 memory gig to deploy a CL version, so they give us a light version. I think it'll be nice
yeah, yeah.
to
That makes
study a little deeper.
yeah, yeah. So do you do a lot of home lab type things too with Community Edition? Are you
Not
close?
yet,
Yeah.
not
Oh,
yet. But I'm trying to buy a robust lab to study myself. But I have some lab with other things so I can use. But I need a robust lab to try my stuff because I'm a heavy user. So
yeah.
it's- and but sometimes I think if they have like a light version or something like an orchestration version to use Nutanix, I think it would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be awesome to work.
The Community Edition has been really impressive to me because it is the same code base now as professional installable bought Nutanix, um, which is great. But it's another great example of the community really coming together. All of the support, solving those problems, which NICs work, which hardware works, all of that's being done by our peers here in the community. Um, and there are some very, very talented folks that are giving their time. Um, I know several of them have been really helpful to me. Shout out to Kurt Tellup, who works for Nutanix, but I know he spends a considerable amount of time helping with hardware configurations and things like that for people to run Community Edition. So when you think about your time with the Nutanix User Group there in Sao Paulo, what sorts of things do you try to do at your user meetings to kind of help users in the community? What sorts of things do you do? We're talking about maybe Andrea's tips and tricks before we started the recording today.
Yeah, I think I share with them like coupons for the vouchers
Mm,
for the exams.
yeah.
So everything that I notice, if there is something going on, I share with our WhatsApp group. So we
Mhm.
have a WhatsApp group. They can reach me anytime. So they can some of them send me message. How you think about this? Can we go this way or can go the other way? In our meetings, basically we talk about our environments, how you can do better. And some of them start to working with Nutanix and they basic learners. So they kind of want to know, how can I do this? How can I avoid this issue? How can I go to another step to learn? Or can I run this platform with Nutanix? This is the kind of thing they ask me. And and we like to learn about our applications because we need to learn how to work our stuff before they run. Actually, we need to, know our application before you're deploying any platform, cloud or on-prem. So the first question that I ask then is, do you know your application? Because you need to know. Because if you don't know, there is no way we can improve. I can give you like a spaceship. If you don't know how to drive a spaceship, doesn't matter. That doesn't work. It's not gonna work for you. So this is basically we talk and then we kind of like to have a good time. We drink beer and like some other stuff. So we would like to
Yeah,
give this balance and between beer and tech.
yeah, exactly. Something about tech and beer, those two things seem to go together. It's
Yeah.
pretty common. Um, you mentioned your WhatsApp group. As Nutanix Technology Champions, we have access to a Slack group that is really, really active. And there's tons of people in there that are always posting news, asking questions, from a group that likes to share. But I guess how does that Slack channel kind of help you in terms of being connected to the community or learning in general?
I think is our ma- our shortcut because you can ask direct for engineers. So sometimes when I ask something, an engineer reply back with an answer or with
Yeah, because it's
any
not just
information
us
they
in the
have.
NTC community. There are hundreds of people in this Slack channel that are also internal to Nutanix. So it's a great way when we have things. Again, kind of back to access. Because we've given
Yeah,
back to the community, they're giving us access to the community.
I think it's amazing. I pretty much enjoy. I ask a lot of questions, and I like to reply back too. So I think is a great way to communicate and engage. So I love it. I think our price to do this job I like to call, but is this channel is it's amazing. So
Yeah.
I met a lot of folks from there, so it's amazing. I pretty much enjoy. And sometimes I post some questions from my group, so you can help them with that as well. So
Yeah,
kind of
I
cool.
think people forget that, right? I think sometimes people forget that if you know an NTC, you have a conduit into, this community because I do that on behalf of my customers and my friends, people in the community. I'll ask questions back into Nutanix and try to get help and things like that. Um, it's one of the things I like about working with them as a partner is they're still small enough. That we know lots of people and we have those connections and stuff thanks to programs like the NTC.
Yes, I can agree more.
Um, what what's on the horizon for you with kind of your community roles? You said you've got your meeting coming up for the NUG, the user group. Anything special you got planned for that upcoming meeting?
I will talk about a little bit about Barcelona,
Hmm.
Kubernetes, and some automation.
Hmm.
And I will spoke about my blog and basically about certification
Yeah.
to see how got certified. I think I share a few vouchers in the past,
Hmm.
so see anybody needs help. I always open to help to get people certified. So sometimes if you
Hmm.
need help to study or get the information, I always open to do that with my group. So this is basically the I need to share how Barcelona was great. So with them, and I have some some content, and I will share about automation and CLI and so on.
That's
That's
awesome.
my goal.
Yeah, and I guess, probably missed this, but there's a great gentleman at Nutanix that coordinates NTC for all of us. So shout out to um, um,
Angelo?
Angelo.
Oh, come on. Angelo
Yeah, yeah,
Luciani.
yeah. Angelo is great. He has been a huge advocate for us in the community, and so I can't do this and talk with you without doing a shout out to Angelo. He's the guy that the glue that keeps this program going for us. Um, if somebody's interested after they hear us kind of talking about this program, if they're interested in getting involved and applying to be an NTC, what advice would you have for them?
You start with, I think you do this job before you won any prize or any nomination. So you start to sharing in your social networks,
Hmm.
maybe write something and try to share your projects. I think is a good way to go
Hmm.
because
Thing or the problems you run into, yeah.
yeah, I think I just joined this program because I destroy a VMware cluster, I think two clusters, and they become with AHV,
Hmm.
the native hypervisor, and I write about it, and the people like it. So this is basically when I joined the program to share with my my knowledge about the migration. The migration, I think, was really tough. It's 2 months, we migrate about 200 VMs,
Hmm.
so it's a lot, and different applications. So start engage with the community. Go to our forum. We have a forum. I think is Phil can share the links
Yeah,
in the podcast.
next.nutanix.com, the Nutanix community. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. So please share this link. I think it's very helpful for folks to start
yeah.
to
It's
join
very active
because
too.
yeah, it is. I maybe sometimes I can answer your question there because sometimes I go there and answer some questions, and some other NETCs can can reply back too. So it's a good way to go. Be
Yeah,
noticed.
next.nutanix.com. That's the home for communities. So there's forums. That's also where you can get all of the information about Nutanix Community Edition. So tons of great content out there. There's also a community podcast. So similar to the one you're listening to today, other community members are working with Angelo to put out different content in this podcast format too. So really great stuff over at the Nutanix communities at next.nutanix.com. So, Andrea, I really appreciate your time today. It's been great catching up. We get to see each other again in about a month. We've got an NTC event at Nutanix headquarters in San Jose.
It'd
Um,
be awesome.
yeah, and so again, like as we talk about the NTC program, this community, there are opportunities. If you're giving to it, as Andrea said, like if you're interested in this, then start contributing. That's the way that we got started. We weren't looking for this. There wasn't a program a few years ago, so we were just naturally trying to contribute back to the community, add some value to other people's lives. That's how you get started with this. That's how you become an NTC. I would encourage you to start answering questions, posting things in the community, looking for a local Nutanix user group to participate with. Um, just try to give back. That's really what community is all about at the end of the day. It's near and dear to my heart. Been a member of user groups, leader of user groups, also had a blog and helped in forums and things like that. that's really the heart of community, is giving back. And Andrea, I love that you call it a job. I think that's amazing. Uh, your payment's not necessarily in money, it's in other ways that the community gives back to you. But I love
Yeah.
that it's a job for you. Um, for everyone listening, I want to say thanks for spending a little bit of time with us. Andrea, thank you for carving out some time in your day to talk about community, the NTC program, Nutanix user groups. Um, Everybody go out and try to find a way to contribute, whether that's a user group or a forum. Um, that'd be my ask. Anything you want to share in closing?
I wanted to thank you to ask me to do this podcast. Very cool to share a little bit and tips about how to engage, how to be part of this community. And that's all I think. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Well, thank you for spending time with me. So, for everybody listening, go out to thelittleriver.co. That's Andrea's blog. Also, go out to next.nutanix.com. That's the community blogs. It's also where you can find Community Edition and all the other great resources. And For everybody listening, we'll talk to you on the next podcast episode. But, Andrea, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.